Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm super happy today that we are going to record our ninth episode of our podcast, Big Players Talk. And today is a super special day because I'm here in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. So it's the first time that I'm recording it abroad. I'm feeling super fancy, super happy. And especially because I have two very, very special guests here with you, with me, with you as well. And they are our teachers. So if you're our student, you already know them. If you aren't, you'll get to know them today. So I'm here with Annika and Vera. I would like to welcome you guys and to say how thankful I am, not only for you to be here, but also for being part of my life, being part of like our company, our school, to be so good with our teachers, to our students as well. So Annika, thank you so much for being here. How are you feeling today?
Thanks, Delvana. Yes, I'm excited. So happy that you're here in Calgary and spending time with us. And yes, so excited.
Yeah, she has been an incredible host. Like she's just like the best, really, really good. And I'm also here with Vera, that is also from Brazil, living abroad here in Canada, right? I'm very happy you are here, Vera.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy that you're here too. After 2 years, I think that we connected in person, right?
Exactly.
So it's really good.
Yeah, actually, that's a great story, like how we connected like 2 years ago. I came to Calgary in 2024 July, and I met, no, June actually, and I met Vera in Montreal the same year in July. And we could never imagine that it would be here 2 years later, like having this conversation, having you guys part of the company, right? So I'd like to start with you, Annika. So you have been our teacher since 2024, right? It was the first time that you became like an English teacher or language teacher in general, right?
Yes, my first experience.
Yeah, great. And how has it been for you, like to be a teacher? And also you are learning Portuguese right now. So I think you can talk about like these two, different roles as a teacher and as a student.
Yeah, no, being part of the school and having students and helping people improve their English has been really, really amazing. I've met like so many wonderful people. As you guys know, you've met them all too. But yeah, just the community that is all together, like the students are just so great. They teach me just as much as I teach them, just because, of course, if we can't find a word or an expression in English or Portuguese, we kind of swap right back and forth. And it's been so much fun and so rewarding, and it's so crazy to see like the progress of some students, right, from 2 years ago till now. And it's just been amazing. And for myself, yes, I am learning Portuguese. I think it's a little bit more difficult of a language than English, in my opinion. But the students are so understanding, and they always want to like share expressions and share like things about their culture that they do in certain areas. And so it's I don't know. I just find like through the language you can really connect with people and connect with their culture, and it's been just amazing. It's been just amazing.
Yeah. But you had already been like a teacher before for yoga, right?
Yeah, so I teach yoga, I teach bar, and I teach group fitness as well. So I've been like an instructor for a long time, but this was my first English experience. But it's been super fun, and I just love working with people and helping them prove themselves and achieve their goals, and it's just been such a fun experience.
Yeah, it's really good. And how did you start with yoga, Annika? Like how did you start like practicing it yourself, and then you became like an instructor? How was like
so actually I started practicing yoga because my grandmother was into yoga. She was also like a fitness instructor and yoga and everything. And so anyway, she got me into it when I was really, really young. And then I started doing it, of course, like more consistently when I was, probably in my 20s. And then when I started teaching, it was actually during COVID because nobody could go anywhere or do anything, right? So then I was doing a lot of yoga at home. And then there was these, all these online programs that you could take to get certified, and I had nothing else to do. So, okay, let's do it, right? So I got certified and started teaching, and then I just loved it because it's, again, you're sharing something that you love to do with other people. And so then I actually got like further certified in my yoga teacher training. So I'm a 500-hour certified teacher. And it's totally changed my life. And like COVID was awful, but it also, brought some really good things.
Yeah. We always talk about it, like how the COVID was so super challenge, like for everyone. But everyone that I talk, like we learned something through it, right? Even though we had like very difficult times, we could get something out of it. So it was also what happened with you during your time, right?
Totally. And I think like, it was a very terrible situation, and it's all what you do with it, right?
Yeah, so exactly. It's really, really good. Yeah. What about you, teacher Vera? It's also the first time that you had this experience of becoming an English teacher, right? right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how has it been for you since you started?
It's really good because, as Anika said, I learned from the students a lot, and also I got to know so many good people that I would never meet if it wasn't for the English classes. And all my students, they are so dedicated, and the teachers too. We are always keen to help each other, which is amazing. I learn a lot from them. Each student, they have their own personalities and their own interests, right? So we kind of do the classes accordingly to what they want to learn, like according to their interests. So I learned so much about architecture, about history, about traveling to other countries, about medicine, law, and so many interesting things that I would never learn by myself.
Yeah.
So it's literally an exchange, right, between me and the students, and I feel like I am their friends and they are my friends too. I feel like I know them for so long already because we exchange experience too during class. It's not only turn on the camera and say, hi, let's go to check your homework and do the activities today. We always start with a conversation. It's really good.
Yeah. We get to know them like in a very deep level. I think that's why we become friends of them, because they share like about most of the times about their jobs, their vulnerabilities, their dreams, right? We have like this saying like in our group that is, we don't teach English, we change lives, right? And this is true because the person start like learning a language because they have a goal. Like I want to live abroad, I want to like conquer the thing in my job, I want to like, do this kind of participation at Congress and international events and everything. So we learn through their dreams and we help them like to get there. So it's super challenging, but also super rewarding, I think, right?
For sure. When I first started teaching English, I was like, what should I do? Because I never felt that my English was that good. And when Davon invited me to be part of the team, I was like, can I do it? But it was really good. It has been a very good experience. Because I want to be good for my students, right? So I wanted to always develop myself and learning more, because we never know everything. Like even in Portuguese, I don't know everything in Portuguese. There are things that we were discussing yesterday, actually. How do you say this in English? How do you say this in Portuguese? So we have to think. And it's also a very good exercise for our brain, because I'm always translating, and it's really good. It's been a very good journey, I would say.
Amazing. And English played a very important role in your life as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
You were at SLP, a speech language pathologist, right?
Yes.
I think you can talk a little bit about how you started your journey with this area in Brazil, the academic life, and how you ended up in Canada, right? and everything that English helped you to achieve.
Yeah, it was a long journey for me to be here, but I will try to summarize. As Davona said, I am a speech language pathologist back in Brazil. So I did my undergrad in Aracaju, Sergipe. Then I moved to São Paulo to do my master degree also in speech language pathology. And that was when I started to learn English, because I learned Spanish before. But if you ask me anything in Spanish right now, I will answer in English, because I am immersed in English.
Yeah.
You understand, but answer in English. This is funny. I can't switch that easily. So during my master degree, there were lots of articles that we have to read in English, right? And I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. So I started English classes almost the same way you were doing here. Of course, before that, I had gone to different schools, the very traditional schools of English, right? And then I said, like, this is not for me. I need 101 sessions. So I started 101 English courses. And it was almost pretty late in my life, so I can relate it with our student difficulties when they say, like, I can't learn when they are like 25 or 30 years old. So then I started learning English, and I could read the articles. I could identify the music that I like to listen to. It was very good, and it was really quick because I really need to do it. So I was really engaged in learning it. And by the end of my master degree, I decided to come to Canada. I called that my sabbatical year. So I came to Canada to study English abroad. Cool. So I spent 7 months here in Kingston. And then I went back to Brazil, because I had to go back to Brazil and work, right? And I went back to Aracaju, started working as an SLP, started my PhD. And during my PhD, I decided I want to go back to Canada somehow. And there were some programs that funding you to study abroad during your PhD. I tried 3 times and I didn't get. And then COVID happened, and then everything was difficult. And I wasn't even thinking about anymore coming to Canada. I just opened my company when I received the offer to do my postdoc here. And again, in Kingston, I said, this is it. I have to go. So I came to Kingston and spent 3 years there. And I decided to move to Calgary with my friend so I could get my license as a speech pathologist here. So I'm still in the process. And so far, I'm working as an English teacher and as a speech pathology assistant, which is basically the same thing, but as an assistant, not as a full licensed speech therapist. But yeah, it's been so good. It's been so good, this journey. But that's how English was important to me. So I could come to Canada to do a postdoc here because I knew English already, right? So I studied in English. I read academic articles in English. So that was the opportunity that I could take, not because of I was lucky, because I knew English already. If I didn't know, I couldn't come.
Yeah.
Because it's such a difficult thing for you to write articles and talk to people in English, right?
Yeah.
And the university it was a very diverse university. There were people from all over the world. So different accents as well. It was a very good challenge for me as soon as I got there. And I was like, whoa, I don't understand what these people were saying. But then you just get used to it. 1 week, you get used to different accents. And it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this is one of the things that I think our method brings, and it's that's super important. Like, I think you had also some experiences as a student in Brazil before, and I had never heard about these like different accents. Like, you have to hear people from different countries so you can get to know like how to understand them when you were abroad. And yesterday, actually, we had like an experience like that, right?
Yes.
We were all together, the 3 of us in Banff. That is like a small town, very touristic here in the area of the Lake Louise, Rocky Mountains. You can check out some pictures on my Instagram. And there was like this waitress. She was super nice, but we couldn't like really get what she was talking in the beginning because she had like a different accent, and we were like, "What did you understand what she said?
Where is she from?"
Yeah, what is she was talking about a drink, about a beer. I don't understand this word." And so when she came back, I asked her, "You have such a beautiful accent. Where are you from?" And she said that she was from Australia.
Yes.
And so it's a very different accent from what we have here in Canada or in the US, or like some immigrants that live here that are from South America. And even us, like that study and teach English for a long time, we had like some difficulty to understand them for the first time. So I think this is one of the things that when I say English of real life, we have to like really highlight, right? Because we only know about this when you live abroad and have this kind of experiences, right? So I think this is one of the things that we have also to highlight. And you, Anika, when you started learning Portuguese, I think you also had the same experience about the different accents, right? You had been to Brazil a couple of times.
Yes.
And everywhere you go, people speak Portuguese in a different way. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So when I first started learning Portuguese, it was more like from the south of Brazil. And then you, of course, meet someone that's from the north or from Rio. And it's like, what? What? What do you mean, vocês? Like, what is that? Oh. And so yes. So it takes like your brain an extra second to figure out what the word is. And so now I'm like getting used to it. And, all the students are so great because they all have their own accents and we, make fun and I practice, like even the R sound, right, is very different. Like porta and porta. I like use my lungs when I do it. But no, it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun. And I feel like with the students, they're so excited to share like from where they're from, right? And they're like, oh, we say it like this, and we do this and we do that, and have you heard of this? And so it's been so fun, but it's very tricky. It's very tricky. Yeah. And but it's so interesting, like how the Portuguese language has evolved, right? And how it's evolved kind of in different places of Brazil because it's such a big country, right? So it's almost like there's all these like little like own countries individually in Brazil, which is so cool because there's like such a strong culture in each place and it's all different. But then you guys are all, still together. It's pretty beautiful. But yeah, it was very tricky. And I still have a really hard time with some of the accents and some of the, I guess, like some of the words, right, mean different things in different areas. Like, oh no, we don't say this, we say it like that. I'm like, oh, good. Okay.
One more thing to learn.
Wonderful. Okay. So anyways, it's, yeah, it's been so much fun. So
Mas
much
ela
fun.
fala muito bem, ela já entende bem
Verdade.
português, não é?
Gente, you are so nice.
Very good. And you also had an experience abroad. Like your experience abroad in this Sweden was a little bit different because you already knew how to speak Swedish because you were like your parents are from there, right? But I think also getting there, you kind of have different accents as well, or it was like kind of like the same that you had at home.
Oh no, it was
Very
like it was the
different
same
as
experience. So
Yeah,
my parents, you know, of course they immigrated to Canada before I was born and my siblings were born, and then you know raised us in Canada. But we started speaking Swedish when we were young, and then I didn't start learning English till I was maybe 4 or 5. And so, anyways, but then kind of when I grew up, I kind of forgot my Swedish. I didn't speak it that much. And then when I was 19, I think, is when I moved there for a few years. And so it took me a little bit to remember for it to come back, and it came back pretty fast. But there are so many accents in Sweden, and you can almost tell, like almost by the city where they're from. And one of my best friends there, her name is Evelina, and she's from the south part of Sweden. And they're very close to, there is called Skåne. And it's very, well, people joke anyways that, I don't want to offend anybody, but people say that the accent is very close to Danish because they speak like way back here, right? And it's like, I still, like if I have to speak to her parents sometimes, they speak skånska, is what it's called. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is because they just use a different part of their throat when they speak. So it's really hard. And like all you have to do is just say, I'm so sorry. Can you say that again? Or I'm so sorry. I didn't get that. Can you please repeat? So, and like, you know, you're going to find that right everywhere you go, like with the waitress that we met yesterday.
Yeah,
I didn't even understand her the first time. I'm like, what? Oh, that's what she said. Right. So it's like, if you're not used to it, like the more exposure, the better, right? For you to, you know, train your listening and like, okay, you know, that's where this person might be from or whatever. But yeah, it's, you know, and I think our students too, when they travel, they're going to find that too. They're going to hear tons of different accents and different ways of saying things, like even American English to British English, right? How we say things and express ourselves. And anyways, it's so fun. Like accents are so fun, but you just have to like laugh, not take it too seriously. Don't get too stressed and just be like, I'm so sorry. What did you just say? I didn't catch that.
Exactly.
Right. Because we all come from different places and we're all learning. So it's, you know, to kind of keep that humility, just remember, like, if you don't understand, it's okay. Just say you don't understand, or I'm so sorry. Could you write that down? How do you spell that? Like, I don't know what that is. Right. So
amazing. And I think it's so important that you are talking about this. We are all talking about this, but especially you were born here in Canada. So because sometimes the students, they travel and they say like, yeah, my English is not good. I couldn't understand the person when she was talking to me. Like, it happens to us as well.
Exactly.
You know, so as long as you are practicing a language, you are going to hear people talking with different accents, and that's okay. If you don't understand one or two words, doesn't mean anything about the quality of your English or how good you are, or they're never going to be able to communicate, right?
No, exactly. And like even like in Canada, right? It's a country made up of all cultures, right? Yes, our main languages are English and French, but like from everywhere in the world, right? People are here, so you're going to hear, you know, people from, you know, Asia, from all parts of Europe, from, you know, South America, everybody speaking English, and they're all going to have their own accent when they speak. And you just have to adapt. And if you don't understand, you just, you know, say, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that? Right? Or just try to understand. And I think that's, you know, just something nice to remember, that it's like, you know, it's okay. Right. Exactly. And like you said, you're going to, you know, run into those like different scenarios all the time. And so it's doesn't mean that your English is bad. It doesn't mean that you can't speak it or you don't understand it. It's just, you know, there's a reason why you came across that accent. You get to learn it or have the exposure to it. So it's okay, you know?
Exactly. And it's just so beautiful. Like yesterday, she was talking about where she was from and how long she has been here and about her visa process and everything.
And she wants to stay.
Yeah, she wants to stay. Exactly. And it's so beautiful, like, to have this opportunity to meet people. Like, Australia is so far away from Brazil, from Canada, and we can connect with them. Like, I think this is it. English is a bridge, right? To connect with people, not like to block. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, so you have to make this tool like work in this way, right?
And people who, like for example, Canadians who are born here learning English, like their mother tongue, right? They appreciate when someone tries to speak English, and they want to communicate with you. Like the same way for us when we admire gringos that goes to Brazil and they try to speak Portuguese and we found cute. It's the same when we travel abroad and we don't speak their languages, right? So when I travel to Mozambique, they speak Portuguese, but it's a Portuguese from mostly their accent is close to Portuguese from Portugal. And there were names of the things that I understand what they were saying, but I didn't know what the meaning. So even for Portuguese, we have Portuguese in many, many countries in the world. So it is different. And even in Brazil, sometimes my slang, you won't understand my slang from Sergipe, that you from Mato Grosso do Sul is like, what? What you're saying? What does it mean? And it happens a lot to me when I moved to São Paulo. From Sergipe to São Paulo, people were like, wait. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in Mozambique?
That was the research that brought me there. My second postdoc actually at Queen's. We worked with 7 countries with mostly social work and social participation, trying to bring services for people with disabilities, and Mozambique was one of those. So I traveled there because I speak Portuguese, so I would do the interviews and translate them to English. And during all the meetings, I was the one translating mostly and connecting Portuguese with English until we have an AI to do that. So when AI came, they didn't need me that much. But yeah, it was a very good experience. Like it's Portuguese, but it's a different culture, right?
Exactly. How long did you stay there?
I was there for 3 weeks.
3 weeks,
yes.
So cool.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
And a week later, we went to Kenya, which is they speak Swahili.
Wow.
Totally different language.
Yeah.
I couldn't catch any of their words. I can't remember any of them. But when you are there, you say good morning in Swahili, and you say good night, and you say thank you in Swahili because you are there. I was there. We were there for 2 weeks.
Cool.
So it was really good. So you pick the language. You have to be immersed in the language.
Exactly. And how was your communication there? Did you guys have translators or
they speak Swahili in English, most of them. Yeah, but when we went to the communities, sometimes they speak like a local language that is not even Swahili. So there was one of the workshops that we did that we had to translate from English to Swahili to the local language.
Wow.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah.
That's why gestures are so important.
Hand talking.
Exactly.
Yes.
Amazing.
As
really
the
good.
same as your experience under the seat.
Exactly. So guys, we have this experience that everyone goes through, right? And it's so important to share because sometimes we go through this kind of thing that you get confused about something in English, people don't understand you, and you kind of like get yourself into trouble. But everyone that speaks another language has gone through it, and we know a lot from ourselves and from our friends and from our students. And there is this one that I was living in Suriname, and Terrace, I hope you can watch it, Terrace, because we had such a great time in Suriname together. So I lived in Suriname from 2012 to 2013 with my uncle, who is from the army. And when we were like about to leave the country for the mission was over, there was someone that was coming from Brazil to replace him at the same job. And on his flight from Brazil to Suriname, they were always speaking English, and he had a guitar with him. And like he was with the guitar with him, like on the seat, and the flight attendant told him that he had to put it under the seat. And under the seat, like here. But he understood that he had to put the guitar on the seat with the seatbelt on.
I didn't use the gestures.
Can you imagine how weird it is? You just like put a guitar and you put the seatbelt on the flight. Anyway, so the flight attendant passes through him the first time and said, "Hey, sir, sorry, you have to put your guitar under the seat." He was like, "Okay, all right." When she comes back, the guitar is there with the seatbelt on. And she's like, "Under the seat, sir." And he was like, "Yeah, but it's under the seat." And she knows it's not under the seat. No, it is under the seat. Under the seat. And she just took it out and she put the guitar herself, like under the seat. And he was like, "Oh, okay. Now I get it." And so just later he realized that he was confusing seat with seatbelt, you know. So she was like, under the seatbelt would be this, right? And he told me that I was so humiliated. I felt like I was 5 years old. I was like, that's okay. Like we all have gone through about this.
That's so good.
Yes. Yeah, so it's really important to use your hands.
Yeah, so if she had used under the seat, so
he would have got it. Exactly. So cool. And in your work in Canada, Vera, it was the same that you had in Mozambique. It was also about the research?
It's like we were connected. Like we first came here to, I say we because I came with a friend of mine who's also a speech pathologist. You guys met him.
Yeah, Rafa, he's incredible.
And so we worked together on this project. We worked with in collaboration with computer engineering. So it was rehabilitation science and computer engineering. So we have lots of different professionals, occupational therapists, speech therapists, and computer engineer people. To make a service for kids with disabilities. They don't like physical disabilities and communication too. And our goal was to use the robot to assist them on playing games and interactions.
Okay.
So we did that, and we use eye gaze. Eye gaze is when you use your eyes to control the computer.
Wow.
So they use their eyes to control the computer, and then the robot would understand what they say and then move the pieces for them, so they could play with someone.
Nice.
Like a board game. So that was one of the research. And then when I did my second postdoc was the one that brought me to Mozambique. So yeah, we do community-based rehabilitation. So that's the name I forgot to say. Community-based rehabilitation. So we work, so for example, we work on the communities, and there is a leader in this community. There is a church in this community. How can we join forces to assist people with disabilities and their families? So this was what we were researching in Mozambique as well. So
super cool. Yeah. And I think we saw someone like in Banff, right, in Lake Louise, that was using kind of the same technology.
Yeah, we couldn't help
but
talk
your
to
friends
him.
were so excited about seeing your research in practical.
Yes,
right,
we were 3 speech pathologists yesterday together with both of you. And when I spot him, I did this with my friend. I said, hey, he uses ASC and he uses an eye tracker. So cool. And she was like, let's go talk to him. And so Rafa was like, really? And Vero, yes, let's talk to him. So we approached them, and then we say, we are speech therapists. Can we talk to him? And their parents were really cool, and he was really interactive with us too. He was a little bit shy to use his communication device, but we could have a conversation with him. And it is a challenge, right? To go around with a wheelchair, with a device that is right in front of you, and to have people to understand how you communicate. So we are working for that to become more popular and more accessible too. So it was really good to have spot him there, and we could talk to him, and we could connect it with their parents, and they follow the lab Instagram now, and so and they're from Australia too.
Yeah, exactly.
They were traveling from Australia, and they travel all over the world. They were in Montreal this year. They choose Canada. They were in Montreal before Banff, so they are traveling. They went to Vancouver too.
Wow, so nice.
And they are here now. So it was really nice. And we saw another one too, using an ASC, an ASC device. He was like with an iPad with like a communication software. It was really good too. And we were like, we are really happy when it happens.
No, that's so nice. And again, like English is a bridge, right? So you guys could see someone that was using what you guys like studied and had researched for so long, right? So it's really nice. Like I love like how, as we said, like how English, any language, I can be this bridge between like what you have just seen somewhere and what you can do like in real life, right?
Yes,
it's really great, really nice, so cool. Nice. And Anika, you can also talk about a little bit about what you do, like except being an English teacher and a yoga instructor, you also have another job, right? Because a lot of students, they want like to come to Canada to work, or like they want to know how the market here is, like if it's possible to work from Brazil and everything. So I think you can talk a little bit about the markets that you work in, and how it is like usually to get a job here in Canada.
Yeah, sure. So right now I work for a software company, but it's in the automotive space. So I've been working in automotive for, I don't know, the last 13 or 14 years.
Wow, a long time.
So before I worked for this software company, I actually worked in dealerships. I was in the service department. So I was like dealing with customers every day, being like the communication between the customer and the technician, and, helping them get their cars repaired and everything that is tied into there. And so it was, really busy, really fast paced. Even now, like there's so much opportunity for people that are kind of working in that space, like, customer service or sales. There's so much opportunity here in Canada, because not everybody wants to do it, because they're, it takes hard work, and you have to have like the people skills and stuff like that. And like nowadays I feel like, because everything's so digital, that like person to person skill is not with the newer generations. That's my assumption. But but no, like especially in those spaces, there is so much opportunity because they're looking for good people that want to come in and be part of a team, learn how to sell whatever you're selling, and hit targets, hit goals, stuff like that. And what's really interesting in like the dealership space is that of course, because Canada has all different cultures, right? If you have someone that is, Filipino, or if you have someone that speaks Spanish or speaks, Cantonese or Mandarin or whatever, when those customers come in, they're going to come to you. Yeah, right. So you get to use that, you get to use your mother tongue, or you get to at least help bridge like, okay, this is what's happening. Let me help you explain. Right. Or say if I was dealing with a customer that, was from, say, somewhere in Asia and they weren't understanding, oh, hey, friend, can you come over? Can you help me translate? Right. So, which is really beautiful because there's so many languages here, and it doesn't matter if it's said perfectly or if it's, grammatically correct. Okay. But can I understand you? Do you understand what we mean? Right. And so, that's always really, really cool. And like, even, if you're like building like, yourself in business, like in sales or stuff like that, you're going to be like, gaining those customers that speak your mother tongue too, right? Like, which is cool, right? Which is very cool because that way you can, of course, learn your English. You can, have like be part of the culture here, but you also get to kind of retain your own and help people that are maybe just moving here to Canada, from your same country or whatever. And so it's really beautiful because, you can like use the languages to help, right? And like you said, it's not a block. It's like it's opening a path, right?
Exactly.
Right, and giving options. So, but anyway, so right now I work for a software company in the automotive space. So now dealerships are my clients. But again, I meet with all sorts of different people every day. I do travel like around my region, and dealing with people every day, different accents, different backgrounds all the time. And so there is so much opportunity here in different markets, just depending what your specialty is. So if someone is like considering coming here, wanting to work here or be abroad, like I know that there's so much opportunity, not just in automotive, but in all sorts of different sectors of the job market, right? And like in Canada, I feel like we really celebrate like cultural differences. Like we really celebrate people that come from a different place, and you want to know and find out like, well, how do you say this? And what do you do for this? So and, cool. And so it's not anything to be like worried or ashamed of. It's like you're coming to a place where, hey, well, where do you come from? Well, my background's this. And then, it's like comparison. Of course, it's all in English because we don't all have the same mother tongues, right? So it connects us all. But at least you get to learn from each other and, meet interesting people and, right. So it's, like there's so much opportunity here if people want it and depending on what industry you're in. But, English is kind of, it will help you connect everything else, right? Exactly. For the opportunities and everything.
In Canada, it's so open, like for different cultures. It's really nice. I think it's one of the best places for you to go as an immigrant because you have a lot of other people from different cultures as well, and it's really a community that is very curious about what do you do there, how's your life back home, and about your language, about the expressions, about everything. So this really makes a difference when you live abroad, right? Because you want to feel welcome, you want to feel embraced. The experience itself is very challenging anywhere, but if you go to a place that you know that you have this openness, is really good. And I loved what you said about, for example, if the person already speaks like a Chinese or Mandarin and other languages in Portuguese as well, it is not like a downside. It's like an advantage, right? Because if you're working in sales or any other kind of areas, you are like the person who is also come from Brazil or from South America is going to come to you and is going to be like an asset, right? I always tell to the students that like your mother tongue is not like, but I have this accent or I come from this place. No, this is good. This is like something that is going to add for your experience or for your portfolio, It's not something that you should be, shy or ashamed of, right? So really, really good. Right?
No, it like adds to your superpowers,
exactly,
I think,
Exactly. It's an extra
I think that they are superpowers, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
As much more language you speak, more connections you will build, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I mean, imagine you come across someone that speaks French. I don't speak French, but if you come across someone that speaks French and no English, but if I spoke a little French, at least you can get by, right? And like, Yeah, like even in classes, or at least for me, right? I don't speak Portuguese a lot or
Ela
very
fala
well
assim,
yet. I'm getting
ela
there.
fala.
Pouquinho.
Vamos
Fala
corrigir.
Ela fala pouquinho sim, ela entende. Inclusive, tenham cuidado, que ela entende tudo que vocês falam durante a aula.
But even like if, I'm dealing with a student and like they maybe get a little flustered or they're like, I don't know how to say this. They get so stuck. And I'm like, okay, can you try in Portuguese? And then they'll say it. I'm like, oh, do you mean this? Like that? Oh yeah, that's what I meant, or something. Or if they say it, they'll say it in Portuguese and the word is super similar in English. And they're like so happy about it. Like, oh, it's like similar. Yes, it is. Right. And so it's, just being open to, just try to share with people and be vulnerable and be like, I don't know this. How do I do this? Right.
Exactly.
And so anyways, it can be really beautiful, right? Languages are great.
It's really beautiful. I remember the first time that Larissa Osório saw this. I recorded a podcast with her as well in Brazil. And she was talking about this, that she was super nervous about like having a class with you, because usually when the students have the first class with Anne, like, hi, I'm going to talk to a Canadian, but my English is not very good. What if she doesn't understand me? What am I going to do? It's like, they're going to die. They're super nervous, super anxious. And I always tell, no, I think it's with her. Everything's going to be all right. Don't worry. If you guys don't understand, you can use the translator. It's fine. So she was having the class with you, and you asked something to her, and she didn't understand. And she said in Portuguese, like to herself, ai meu Deus do céu, e agora? And Anika said to her in Portuguese, mais devagar, por favor. And she's like, she can understand Portuguese. Oh my God, it's okay, it's nice. And so you guys could connect, could like, this vulnerability that you share, because you were also learning, right? I think the students sometimes they think that they are the only ones in the world that are struggling with that they are having difficulty, that everyone else is like just having like a very perfect journey in their language learning, and it's never like this. Everyone has like their ups and downs. The days that your English is not Englishing, like we were saying yesterday, the days that you were speaking super well, the day that you don't understand something. That's this for every language, for every learner, right? So like these experiences in class are super beautiful, right, Anika?
Yeah, really cool. And it's it's just as long as you try, right? And if we can't figure it out, then we get the translator. But
exactly.
And it's a good reminder for me too, because like sometimes with my own Portuguese, I have like high standards and like, okay, why can't I understand this? Why don't I get this, right? Why does it not make sense?
Yeah.
And but then it's like, okay, just take a breath. It's fine. Try again tomorrow, or try again later, or something, right? Or like it's just it's just a bad day. It doesn't mean it's we're not working well all the time. So you have those ups and downs, right? And it's like, and it's so nice because the students remind me of that, because some days they have days where it just goes like amazing, and then some days you can tell maybe they're a little frustrated, or they're like hard on themselves, like, oh, I should have known that, or oh, I should have known that, how to pronounce that. I'm like, no, it's okay, like it's not a problem, right? So it's a nice reminder for me, because I also get in those places too with Portuguese, because it's very different to English and it's very different to Swedish. So it's like being a Latin language, the structure and everything is so different, right? So and like I'm in my 30s, it's hard to learn new languages in your 30s. It's hard, but just one day at a time, and just being consistent and doing it all the time, and you see that progress over time. You just have to be patient. And Dalvana, like you and I were talking about the other day, is that it should be fun, right? Exactly. You shouldn't put your pressure on yourself to be like, I need to get this or whatever. It should be fun, because if you take the fun out, then you don't want to do it, right? And then it doesn't stick in your brain. So if it's fun, like a positive thing, like, oh, I get to go, to English class or to Portuguese class, right? Yeah. Then it's a different experience, right? Yeah, whole other flavor to it.
Exactly. And we had a class the other day. We were discussing about neuroscience, right? And there's actually like scientific research about this. Like when your cortisol levels are super high, you just can't learn, because the cortisol just like stops the part of the brain that is like responsible for memory, that is the hippocampus. So if you come to the class like, oh my God, I have to do this. If I don't do it, I'm going to be, it's going to be super bad for me. Like you just don't enjoy the process, and your brain's not going to work. Your brain like block. Okay, I don't want to learn this. It's very stressful for me. And we were talking about this this day, that we exercise 4 different areas of our brains every time that we are learning English, that we are learning any language. So it's already a very like heavy exercise for your brain. If you do it on a pressure, like because you have to, or like feeling bad about it, or talking about things that don't interest you, it's going to be even harder. Like our brain is going to just like you start to create kind of a rejection. And we were talking about this, like how sad it is that a lot of people had a lot of terrible experiences with learning English before, when they were teenagers or children or even adults, and they just like start to reject English. No, English is not for me. I'm not an English person, this kind of thing. And it's just like the way that your brain was protecting you from this stressful situation, because it is stressful itself, right? And if you do it in a wrong way, in a way that like just makes you feel bad, it's just not going to work, right?
No.
So that's it, yeah. And Vera, tell us about your decision to be a speech pathologist, right? Because it is like it's not about English, but it's about like communication, talking,
Yes.
just making people communicate better, stop having these blocks or these barriers.
Yeah.
They're the same thing in any language, but
Yeah,
how?
well, I was on the academia for a long time, right? So I had in my mind that I would be, I don't know, a researcher forever. But then life happens, and then you change your mind, and that's
Yeah.
fine. So I started to pursue validate my certification here as a speech therapist, which is a long journey. So I had to study everything again, and I became a student after my 38 years old. So I was like, oh my God, I have to study again. And I was studying everything again in English, which was a challenge for me because I graduated like 15 years ago almost. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, me
And
too.
then in Portuguese, everything was in Portuguese.
Yeah.
And I don't know everything because we don't practice everything, right? But to do the exam here is a little bit of everything. And also the Canadian system is different. Like the ethics, the process of education here is different than in Brazil. So we have to learn a little bit of everything and in English. So it was really challenge for me. But I try to connect everything, as you say, like let's make it fun. Wasn't always fun for me to to study, but it is a process and you have to just put yourself out there. As I see many students of us doing that. And when they, just going back a little bit on the pressure thing, because I have some students that they put pressure on themselves when they don't remember a simple word that it should be simple, right? They don't remember what want is. And they say, I know this, I know you know, but today you don't, it's fine.
Exactly.
And also when they can't say a word like an R, a different sound that we don't have in Portuguese, like think, that. We don't have that in Portuguese, and it's hard to for them to accept that they don't know how to say that, but they will get there. So I try to use some of our strategies as speech therapists to teach them how to put their tongue in the position to say the th sound, which is fun. And when they get there, so happy about it. So I feel like English and speech therapists, they are together, all about communication, right? And when, as Anika said before, when our students show that they are learning and we are so happy for them. And when they recognize that they learn, that they are so happy, and then we are all happy.
Exactly.
The same for like a speech therapist, when my students my clients can communicate somehow and they can show whatever they are thinking, whatever they want to talk to you, not necessarily using words. We are so happy too. And they are so happy too. So yeah, just put yourself out there. And speaking about putting yourself out there, when I decided to come to Canada to study English for 7 months, one of my English teachers at that time said, "Oh, you're not ready. I think you shouldn't go. You should study more English in Brazil and then you go later." And I said, "But I will go to be immersed in English, so of course I will learn."
Yeah.
And then I said, "Okay, bye. I don't want you anymore." So I got another teacher.
Amazing.
Well, the phone school wasn't there at that time yet. So
Not yet.
and then I started, and then he encouraged me a lot. And he said, "Okay, you are really like a beginner in English. I could read articles, but to communicate was really hard." So we trained some like a conversation at the airport, how to take a bus, how to order a taxi. Uber wasn't a thing at that time yet. So, how to call someone. Those kind of practice that we call it role play that we do with our students sometimes, depending on their needs. And that's it. I got to Canada and my luggage was delayed and I have to wait. And the taxi driver was waiting for me and I could communicate with them because I didn't have my Wi-Fi or anything. I didn't know how to, but I have to communicate with people and ask for help. And I did it. I didn't die.
Exactly.
Yes. It's really cool. And you just build connections with everybody. So one of my friends from that time, he lives in Japan. 3 weeks ago, he was here in Calgary visiting.
Wow, so cool.
And he still have friends, a lot of friends in Toronto from the time we were studying here. and he came for a wedding, and then I go to Calgary, and he spent almost a day here in Calgary, and we hang out together like after 14 years without seeing. And he have been to Brazil too. He loved caipirinha.
So cool.
Yeah,
Really nice.
It's like, as you say, connections everywhere.
Yeah. Exactly. And English is just this bridge, right? Because like I lived in Suriname also. That is a country that people speak Dutch, and we could communicate through English. And they have like different backgrounds from like Indonesia, India, the island of Java. And I could talk to these people like because like I could speak English, you know. And right now I live in Spain, and you have friends from Morocco, from Italy, from France, from Poland that we play volleyball together. And sometimes it's so fun because like I have my friend Rafa there that speak Portuguese. And there is like the two French people, they speak French. The other one who speak like the other language from Italy and everything. And we see them talking with each other in other languages. So we can hear like 3 different languages at the same time. But when we are all together, we are all speaking English. So this is like a bridge, you know. And like you had a friend from Japan that you met in Canada, that went to Brazil. And like you guys could just connect. So I think every time that we start learning English, and unfortunately we were having this conversation, me and Anika, yesterday, I think, and she was saying like, it's so bad that people have this bad idea about English. When you start talking about, you say, everywhere I go in Brazil that I say that I teach English, like, yeah, you know, English isn't for me, or I had this bad experience, so I can't learn, and kind of is this kind of thing. And it's very bad that sometimes because of the journey that they had been through, they give up on their process, because I think they can't really like see how far English can take them, not only professionally, but in their personal lives. How
to travel and be independent, right?
Exactly, and be autonomous and just connect with people from many different countries, from many different cultures, just learning about everything. Actually, like if you can speak English, you travel to, even though you don't live Brazil, you go to São Paulo, to Guarulhos airport, and you just can talk to a person from Australia, from Indonesia, from Hong Kong, from Japan, from Brazil, from Canada. So it is something that really like change our lives, like for good. Like once you learn it, that's it. You have like, it's kind of a passport for the whole world, like a bridge for the whole world that nobody can take away from you, right?
We
It's
call
really
English
cool.
a universal language, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that it will erase or take off all the other languages, but like it's a language that's common to everybody. So we can speak English. So.
Exactly. It's a connection, it's a bridge. And the other thing that you said about your previous teacher, that he said that you weren't ready and everything. Sometimes you have this, like we think that it would be a day that it would be perfect, that we're gonna wake up in the morning and just say, you know what, I know how to speak English perfectly.
If
I'm
you
ready.
wait, you don't do anything.
You're never gonna happen. Like, you're gonna die before it happens, you know, because
we are still learning, as Anika said. She's learning more of Portuguese, and I'm sure that you are learning more about English too. I'm learning a lot about English.
Me too.
Every day.
I didn't have many things in my vocabulary before I start teaching, and I had a very like academic, I would say, vocabulary. And with my students, I have everyday vocabulary. You know, that I know how to say what is this, what is that I didn't know before. But I'm studying to teach, so I learn too. Right?
Yeah, it's really good. And we get to know, as you said in the beginning, we get to know about different Englishes, like different ways of speaking English, about medicine, about business, about like communication, leadership, personal development. And sometimes even though you are like a native English speaker, you don't know how to say that about medicine. You know, I learn a lot about medicine in Portuguese sometimes. The students ask me, how do I say this? And they say in Portuguese, and I'll say, I don't know what is it in Portuguese. Let me just find out. And so I can translate to you, because I'm not a doctor. I had never gone to med school. So we are learning about so many different things.
I had to start
right?
to watch the Good
Grey's
Doctor
Anatomy.
and Grey's Anatomy, because I have doctors.
Good options.
And they talk to me about it, and we watch TED Talks about medicine, and I say, I'm blank here, so I have to. So I put Grey's Anatomy and I watch, and I be familiar with at least with a little bit of the vocabulary.
Yeah. I always tell them that I'm having anatomy classes for free every time that I have classes with them, because they want to ask me, they make a sentence about something, and I'm like, what is this? And like they make a sentence using like, I had to do this procedure last week, for example, and I ask, what is this procedure? What is it about? What does it do? And everything. And it's so common, it's so good, because they start to talk about what they do every day in English, right? So I think this is what makes a difference about the method, at least from my perspective, is like you being able to talk about what you really need on a daily basis, right, Erika? For example, from your experience, you learned English at home. Like you said that your first language was Swedish at home, but you started learning English at 4 with your parents, or like just at school you had your first contact with English?
Well, so in Canada you don't go to school until 5 is when you go to kindergarten. But my siblings are 2 and 3 years older than me. So they started going to school first, and then when they came home, they would speak English with each other. So I learned actually just from them. So by the time I went to kindergarten, I could speak it, but I just learned from them. Yeah. And and of course like TV and movies and stuff like that. But so it's as a kid, of course, you learn things so much faster, right? You just absorb it like a sponge, and like an adult, it's like it's hard to get it in there sometimes. But I wanted to say, Vera, when you said that like your teacher wasn't ready, or they said that you weren't ready, but you're like, I'm doing it anyways. I think that's amazing, because like the only way you're going to challenge and learn more is if you push yourself. If you wait till you're ready, you're going to be waiting forever.
I couldn't do that in another time, honestly.
Yeah, no, right? But like, and I find like a lot of our students think, I just needs to be better before my trip, or I won't go there until my English is better. No, go now, and actually go and speak with the people there and try to practice it, try to use it, right? Like I think even if you maybe travel with someone that speaks your same mother tongue, then if you're speaking that same language the whole time you're traveling abroad, then you don't get to practice your English, right? And so like just be brave, and that's what you're there to do. So go do it, right? And so I love that.
Yeah, that's amazing. We have students that are very early learning English, right? And they already travel abroad. Yeah. And like and the teacher, I'm nervous. And I said, yes, it's okay to be nervous. It means that you care. Oh, but I'm traveling with my sister-in-law. She speaks English. And I said, don't be with her.
Let her talk to you. Yeah.
Order your own food, order your own coffee. So let's train how to do this. Like, let's practice together. And this is really important. And another important thing about this, and we have many examples in the school with our students, it's never late to start learning English. Exactly. Never too late. That's what I am trying to convince my parents to. Yeah. To study English and join at the school. So it's never too late. And like we have Marilene, my student, for example. She is amazing. Like she speaks, and she's so dedicated, and she speaks English, and she wants to speak English. She doesn't necessarily need it, but because she wants to travel. Yeah, exactly. And she doesn't want to rely on her daughter all the time. So
that's amazing. Yeah. It's really amazing. And she went on a trip as well, I think, right? Recently, she's going to...
I think, next week.
Yeah. Yes. Super cool. Yeah. That's it, guys. We have to put ourselves out there, right? 100%. Otherwise, if you just speak English to yourself in your room, like, what is the goal of this? You have to really take the courage and do it, even though you don't feel you're ready. Nobody feels ready. Like, nobody feels ready before doing anything, right? If you were just wait for it, you're going to wait forever.
Funny story. Oh, sorry. Yeah, about that. No, funny story. When I was telling you about that festival outside my apartment, right? That shuts down the streets, called Lilac Festival. Yeah. Vera and Rafael and I went together, and Ben too. Yeah. And we went, and we were going for Brazilian cakes. That was the goal. That was the goal. So we found, and you have to go early because all the cakes disappear. They sell out, and then you're SOL. So then no cakes for you. But anyway, so we went early. We went to get these Brazilian cakes, and we're reading the menu. And of course, they're speaking Portuguese, and I'm speaking English, but they think that I'm Brazilian because I think you guys were speaking Portuguese. So anyway, so it was really fun. And then Vera made me order a cake in Portuguese, and I was like, I don't want to do this. But I did it. And I'm like, okay, I didn't die. It was not so bad.
Yeah. She could order and ask and decide how to pay it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And that's very
important questions.
Exactly.
Right. And so, I mean, sometimes you need friends to give you a little push to make you do things. But it's like to be uncomfortable. That's good. Because then it's like, oh yeah, that's how you order things. Because I mean, I haven't been in Brazil for, over a year now. And so I didn't remember how to order things. Right. Yeah. So just be uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's important.
Yeah. Muito bom. Então a gente pode falar pouco de português agora. She's just like, okay, why did I just
Why are we switching to Portuguese now?
No, because yesterday we were talking to her in Portuguese and she can understand everything, right? Annika?
Not everything, but most, right?
Yeah, most. But and I think this is one of the things that you can also say, and we can agree, like from people that have English as a first language and have Portuguese as a first language and learn English again, how Portuguese is way more complex than English, right?
Yeah, the
Because
grammar. Oh my gosh.
yeah, the grammar, and we tell that to the students, like you already speak a very complex language. The structure of Portuguese is so complex, so more complex than the English one. So you're gonna learn English with no time. It's fine. And they're like, no, English is so much more complicated and everything, and that's not true. Right?
There's
That's
always a
not
rush
true.
too, right? People want to learn yesterday.
Yeah.
About the things. It's not like that.
Yeah,
No.
it takes time.
Yeah,
Step
it
at
takes
a
time,
time.
a little bit every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what you find very difficult in Portuguese, Annika, that like in English is like different, that for you was like, why you guys have this?
Well, the conjugations for sure. So, anyways, I was in one of my own classes, and we were talking about the word embora.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, embora is although, right? Okay, so I was like, okay, in my head, okay, so I'm making a sentence for my teacher. Okay, although I am tired, blah blah blah. So I said, okay,
What is this?
embora eu estou cansada, and she said, no, it's estasia, and I'm like, what is that? What's estasia? And she's like, well, you
What is estasia?
you may be tired. And I said, no, but I am tired. She said, but you can't say that. I'm like, but why not? And I said, well, why? And she said, because, and then anyways, she told me about the conjugations, and I'm like, but and so but well, and you get stuck because it's like if you translate it directly, it doesn't always work, right? And then it's anyways. So like, and I was feeling confident when I was building the sentence. I'm like, okay, embora eu estou cansada. I was like, I know exactly, and she's like, no, it's not right. I'm like, but it's like. There's always so many layers. And I think especially with Portuguese, there's a lot of different layers because it is a very complex language. And so like, I didn't know about that. We hadn't studied that yet, right? So then it's like, oh, okay, great. But it's like, it's very complicated. And then the conjugations for, me, you, them, right? It's because in English, it's much more similar. So there's exceptions, but I think in Portuguese, the conjugations for sure are the most difficult. And of course, my favorite sound, the oh.
Mas ela pode falar muito bem agora, não é?
Sim.
Pão de queijo. That was good, right?
Very good.
Okay. I said it right? Okay, I did it first myself.
Seu pão de queijo está perfeito.
Muito difícil.
E ontem a Vera fez um pão de queijo perfeito também.
I know, I didn't have any when she made it.
I had all.
Que pena.
I'm so sorry.
Wait, we can make it.
You'll make
Yeah,
more?
she'll make
Muito
more
bom.
for you.
Muito
Muito bom. Yeah, I remember the first time that I was ever, like the first time ever that I was a teacher was a Portuguese teacher for foreigners in Suriname. And I was explaining, I don't know, for who, I think for you yesterday, that in Suriname they speak Dutch. So it was me that speak, like my first language is Portuguese, teaching people who had as a first language Dutch, Portuguese in English,
Yeah.
So they were learning a third language through their second language. It was my first time being a teacher, so it was very, very challenging. And there was a time that they were asking me, why do I say tudo bom and not todo bom? Because todo is like everything else as well, right? I said, no, not actually. Like todo is like whole and tudo is everything. And what is the difference? And I was like, oh my
A letter.
goodness. Yeah.
It's a good question.
Yeah. So, and also I think you have this as an English teacher, right? Teaching something that you just know because you were born speaking it. It's so difficult to like try to understand what is the logic behind that because just know it.
Yes.
But just because like we were born speaking Portuguese, we just like don't think about like how complex it is. Because you're just saying like I am can be so many things. It could be eu sou, eu estou, esteja, seria. Depends on what is the like the structure of the sentence, right? So English is way easier than Portuguese, guys. That's it, right?
Yeah, at least the grammar is easier.
Muito bom, very good.
Yes.
And Vera, why have you become a speech pathology? Like,
I didn't answer that question.
yeah, it's a cute part because you talked about like how you came to Canada and you changed like your practice, but
Well,
why you became a SLP first?
a long time ago, I was actually studying for going to med school, and
Okay.
I never see myself being a doctor, like medical doctor. And then I saw back on the days you receive at every school in Brazil, you have only one exam that you can do when you finish high school to get into the university. And it was like, at that time was the seriado that you do first year of high school, second year of high school, third year of high school. You do one and then you can put all your points together to get into the university. So I did that, and I did get into med school, of course, because it's high competition, and I wasn't a good student. And then I was studying for med school again. And by the end of a year, I remember that my cousin and I, we studied together on the pre-university course. And we were like, I don't want to go to med school. And he was like, also don't want to go to med school. So we started seeing on the book that the school received like the description about the courses. And I saw a speech therapist that I have never heard about it before. And I was like, this is interesting. And I picked it. And then I got into the university, but I still keep studying for med school. And then I met my professor there, and I fell in love with speech therapy. Yeah. Like, okay, I think I like it. So I don't regret at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, because I think, as we were talking before, like helping people to talk. And I also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I stutter. I cannot say that I stutter because my speech pathologist said that I cannot. But I used to stutter a long time ago. Not that long time ago. And this is something like really, really interesting, like how the ability to communicate sometimes when we have any kind of block in that can like make you feel so like vulnerable, uncomfortable. That is the word.
And it is so uncomfortable. I am very shy. I'm freaking out here to be in front of cameras, microphones, and everything. And I have always been. As a child, I remember that I was always behind my mom and put myself to talk and like presentations at school and everything. I would be so red that I might be red right now. But I like it, you know. I feel like I when I was a kid at school and presentations, theaters and those kind of things, I enjoyed doing, but I suffered before, you know. So I don't know if I will say that thing well and I would use the right words or everything else. So it is a challenge and it is uncomfortable, but practicing, you do it, right? Yeah, you have to just... The same for English, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then that's it. I think there is, and you told me one thing that I had never thought about it, because I was asking Vera the other day for help, because, you know, when I get into sales calls specifically, that like, I think it's the same thing that when we speak another language, when people have like this kind of difficulty, that you like, when you are with your teacher, you do well, you do amazing, because you have like this intimacy with them and you feel comfortable and don't feel judged. But when you step out of this, like, oh my goodness, people are judging my English and my accent and everything. And I used to have this during like sales calls, that I wanted like to prove myself and everything. And I said, yeah, but I want to like speak perfectly during this. And you said, no one is fluent 100% of the time. No one is 100% fluent, you said. Even in your own language, right? So listen to this, guys. Even in Portuguese, we're not 100% fluent, right?
Not even when you are reading something that you already know.
Yeah. So, but that there is a very short period of time that we are 100% fluent. So every time that people come to me, how long am I gonna get until I get fluent in English? How when I get 100% fluent? Like, well, it's a lifetime, you know. It's a lifetime goal. You know, you're gonna every day become more fluent and everything. And this, I think, we have to get to fall in love with the journey, with the process, right? Of course, we have like this promise of making them communicate in 6 months, and it's totally possible for you to be out there like you did, to come to Canada, to try things out, to travel like our students do, and, you know, to be able to do things by yourself without like being relying on other people. But becoming fluent is something that you're gonna take your whole life to do, and
one thing that is very important that you taught us, I think all of us, how can you explain someone that just speak English about your culture? So how do we explain São João to Anika? We are in the month of São João in Brazil, and I really miss it. So, and especially in my city, that is very traditional for us. So I really miss it. And how to explain this to Anika? How to explain busca-pé, barco de fogo? And it's something that is really interesting, but it's how to talk about yourself and what you like to do. It's not only about your work. It's like, what do you do for a living? This is easy to say, but what is your culture? What's your background? Where do you come from? And what do you like to do? How does your city look like? And this is what we put our students to do. And then somehow, at some point, they are communicating. They are talking about them, right?
Exactly. And you have to explain me what is busca-pé, that I don't know as well.
Okay, busca-pé is like a firework. that we
Okay.
have made with bamboo tree.
Okay, cool.
And they put gunpowder. All the students will know what gunpowder is because Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
Crusoe?
Robinson Crusoe?
Yeah. We
Robinson
learned something
Crusoe.
from Annika. Robinson Crusoe.
It's not Robinson Crusoe, guys. Robinson
yeah.
Crusoe.
Robinson Crusoe.
We all teach you guys wrongly because I say Robinson Crusoe.
I was saying that as well.
It's
We learned with
Robinson
Annika
Crusoe.
right now. We see, guys, a long life learning thing, you know.
Every day's a school day.
Every day is
for
a
us
school
all.
day.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Buscapé is this. It's like a firework made with bamboo tree and gunpowder and some coloring on top of it that you put fire and you hold it and it kind of volcano. It's like it's beautiful thing and then you throw it and then it Buscapé because it follows your feet. And then
so
it
cool.
really does somehow. I don't know how to explain the physics of it, but
Yeah,
it is
cool.
so cool. It is
And
so
you guys use it in the festa de São João in your
during
region.
São João and Festa
Yeah,
Junina is like all
exactly.
over the places. And in Estancia is my hometown. We used to say that during June, you take a shower and you smell like gunpowder. Doesn't matter. If you take a shower, you wash your hair,
Yeah.
you will be smelling like gunpowder. the
Because
whole month.
everyone does that everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
So cool, so cool. You see, we don't know things
Yeah,
even
you
about
learn
our own
something,
country,
right?
about our own culture. And I
Yeah.
think you, Erika, can also talk about this. Like when you talk to us, like to Brazilians, you always want to know about our specific things. Like, what do you do in your state, Savannah? What do you eat there, Vera? What do you do? And sometimes I told this in another podcast that we record. The students, they want to learn about Halloween or talk about cultures of other countries, and that's okay, but you can leave it when you go there. When you go there,
Exactly.
you ask a person from here, how is it Halloween for you, Annika? How did you celebrate that when you were a kid? Why did you guys go out and ask for candies and this kind of stuff? Because when you're gonna talk, they're gonna ask you about your own culture, your own thing, right? Yeah, that's very interesting, I think, for a foreigner to talk to people from other countries to know about their culture, right?
Well, yeah, and then just like that swap of experience and swap of, okay, well, we actually do this and we actually do that. Oh, okay, that's cool, right? And
Really nice.
yeah, it just, and like, you know, you guys are both from Brazil and you didn't know what was it? Buscapé?
Buscapé. Yeah, I just
right?
learned right now.
So, I mean, like, you know, we're always learning from each other, you know, if
Exactly.
we're from the same culture or not, right? So, like, I think it can be really beautiful. And like, you know, even through language, like if I, you know, you guys teach me things in Portuguese all the time, right? And I teach you things in English and it's, you know, that's what we do, right? So, and I think that's what's really great in the community is that it's like, we're always learning,
Yeah.
right? We're all in the same boat, going the same way,
Exactly.
you know?
Amazing.
So-
Yeah. And I'd like to ask you girls both, like, why do you think that the method works so well? Why do students like learn, and what is it different from the experience that you had previously as an English as a teacher or as a student? You know, what you guys see that we do that is different, that makes it work.
Maybe I'll start first because you might be a little bit more on the technical side. That's okay. This is what I think. So I mean, I think the method that we have encompasses kind of everything that's important in learning a language, like in a very positive and exciting environment. And like for myself, like when I started learning Portuguese, you know, I tried a whole bunch of different methods, right? And I find the one-on-one is so powerful, right? Because and also, you know, if you try to learn it by yourself, right, it can be very, very difficult. And so, you know, one-on-one, having someone that you know, kind of holds you accountable, but also, you know, kind of caters how you learn and gets to know you and can kind of cater the material that way, right, is amazing. And I think it's so important. I love how much we practice, of course, like reading and writing, but also listening and speaking, because that's going to be such a big part of their experience, right? If you're going to travel abroad, you're going to you know, have to talk to people, right? You're going to have to listen to them and respond to them, right? Or be able to ask questions and know what they're saying back to you. And I just love like the method that we have is that it is so interactive and it is like very much like you're not just like learning how to pronounce one word or this word or that word. It's like, let's get right into the sentence. Let's get right into the phrase. Let's get right into, okay, how would you say this? You know what I mean? And I think it's you know, assuming it's probably challenging for our students in the beginning, but I think it really like pays huge dividends to where they're going to be 6 months down the line, in my opinion.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good,
And I
good.
think like the way that like the material is catered to students' different interests and stuff like that, because, you know, if it's something you're not interested in, then you don't want to read it. Right.
Yeah.
But like even for myself in my own Portuguese classes, I love like learning about yoga or learning about health or food. And I want to learn it. And I remember those words that you read in articles or whatever, because it's like, oh, that's like something I want to know, something I need to know. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that too, like that personalization is so key, because like it's, you know, it's, what is that? One size doesn't fit all, one size fits one, right?
Yeah, one size
So
fits
it's like, so it's that's what I think is so beautiful. And I think it's so interactive, where you have so many different teachers that can work with students. So you get different styles, different accents, right? Gets their exposure. And I really love what you do with having like the I guess the foreigners come in and speak with the
Special
students.
classes,
The special classes. I think that's wonderful, because it's like again, so much exposure and just kind of bringing people together and just seeing like, you know, how English can work in different industries for different people from different cultures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think just how it gets people speaking right away and talking and like practicing how to say things instead of just memorize this, memorize that. Like, no, say it, speak it, right? Because that like speaking and listening are going to be your two biggest tools, especially when you travel, right? There's not going to be subtitles. There's not, you can't rewind it. You can't slow it down. So like you have to, those are like so important and key. So that, I guess that's my opinion.
Yeah,
Very
amazing.
good opinion.
Really good one.
Really good opinion.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's a little bit of everything that Anika said, plus a little bit of you guys get to know the student before matching the student with one of our teachers. And this is really important, how you identify the student to connect with the teacher somehow. And maybe, so I don't know, someone wants to go to study abroad and do go to academic, master, PhD, or whatever, and then you say, Vera, this person wants to do a PhD, can you talk to them? And also this flexibility that we have, we are not stuck to one teacher only.
Yeah.
So you can see Anika when you want to. Remember, we had a student that, I think I want to talk to Anika. And then I thought that was so brave of her. And she put herself out there. She did talk to Anika. And nobody said you're not ready yet.
Yeah. No. We always say you are ready. Go, go, go.
Yes. And also the methodology, for example, we read Robinson Crusoe. I love to say Robinson Crusoe.
Me too, very fancy. Robinson Crusoe.
We read Robinson Crusoe with the students, and sometimes some of them are like a little bit skeptical because it's a pirate story. It's like an old story. How can you relate to that? And when we got the structure and say like, now use this structure and talk about yourself. And then they say, oh, okay.
I learned all the words.
Yeah, I have a couple that they are just starting with us. And then they come to me, they're very curious. They come to me with lots of questions. Like, how do I say this? How do I say that? How do I say that? You guys will see today in the chapter that we are learning. And then they're like, wow, that's amazing. And another thing is how we are connected somehow, the grammar classes, because grammar is more structural, but it's something that you can do the grammar, also related to the student interest, and how we are related somehow because we talk about the students. We have meetings, and I don't know if the students know, but
they know.
We do talk about you guys. So we discuss about it. I'm having difficulty with this. These students are having difficulty with that. And we collaborated, this is what I believe for every work that I do is collaboration. And I think we do have this. So, so this is, I think, is the plus.
Yeah, it's very good. And also these great teachers, right, guys? They are just the best. I have the best team with me because you guys really care. I think this is one of the things that I'm very grateful that all the people that work with me, they have the same thing that I had in the beginning when I started this by myself. They should really care about that soul, that person. It's not only Vera, the speech pathologist who wants to do this. No, it's Vera, the person, the friend, the daughter, like the professional, the teacher, like what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she is interested in, what she's going through in her life as well, how we adapt it. And it also makes all the difference because we see them as a whole, as a human being, So we are just like human beings connecting to each other. And that's so beautiful. That's why we have such a beautiful connection with them. And when we have these meetings, it's always also very beautiful to see, for example, Anika says, I have this student they're struggling with these specific pronunciations. So Vera steps in and says, yeah, but there's this exercise that you can do with him because, you know, I have this background. Or Rob, there's also our teacher that had learned a British accent by himself. So he had like really worked on his pronunciation for so long. So he knows a lot of things that he tested in himself that he could put out there. So we help each other like in order to make the life of the students better, right? So this really works.
And the flexibility we have of managing the class the way we feel the student needs at that day. So
exactly.
We have students that have class at 9 p.m. After work hours. And I really don't know how they do that, but they do. And they're really happy coming to English classes. And when I see that, I'm really happy too that you are here.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's their birthday and they are there. So let's skip the videos. Let's talk about your birthday. You know,
Exactly.
how do you talk about your birthday? How do you say that you have a Brazilian cake? What's the difference of a Brazilian cake? Because Anika asked me that, like, okay, what's so special about Brazilian cake?
What is
It's not
it
just
about
a cake, it's a Brazilian cake. So how do you explain that, you know? How do you explain the difference of the culture? So let's talk about it. It's your birthday today. Let's talk about it. How do you celebrate? What do we do? Because 9 p.m. we can't do anything anymore. Tomorrow we have to work. So anyway, sometimes they are tired, or sometimes they have the freedom to text us and say, teacher, I don't want to see this topic anymore. Can we change? And then we go and we discuss, can we change this topic? Can we find materials to that? And also on our daily basis, like I see something interesting, I text you guys, you know, maybe we can use this, and we use it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, this is really amazing. I think this is what really makes them like really keep going, keep learning and everything. And the time just passed so fast, right? Throughout the class. I don't know if you guys have this as well, but me, I used to like sometimes before the class I'm tired and I get into the class, I finish, I'm like relaxed. I am ready to run a marathon because the class just like heals me, you know, just connecting with them and see how happy they are to see us and how like eager they are to learn. It's super, super cool, right? Really great. Yeah.
And I think too, like, just the amount of like laughter and funny things that you can have in the class where you're just like, if, you know, either we're reading something and it's like, what does that mean? Oh, let me explain. Or like how to pronounce something. Oh, you know what this means in this other language or whatever, you know? And you just like, it's so funny. Or you talk about slang, right? Like, you know, like, oh, if you say this, it means this, but if you say it like this, then it means that, right? So it's like, it's so much laughter in the classes. Like, and it, like we said, it should be fun. Like learning a language should be fun, should be enjoyable. And like, you know, we have to be able to laugh at ourselves and laugh at like, what? That means this? Oh my gosh.
I just remember that we had a class with Luisa and Diolo that she said the word abstinence, I think, right?
Yes. Yes.
And in Portuguese, abstinence, we can use like when there is withdrawal, actually. The word abstinência is withdrawal, because abstinence is something that just related to sex, right?
Most of the time, yeah. Like it would be really weird if someone said, oh, I'm abstinent from smoking. I'd be like, oh, okay. You know, but yeah.
You smoke.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah.
But I ever smoke.
But no, and it is funny, right? When you try to translate the word from one to the other, and you're like, "Don't say that," or just be careful, or right? And it's so funny. It's so funny, and I think that's part of why it like makes it so joyful, right? To like be able to connect with people, different languages, because languages are so funny, right?
Exactly,
because then they're like different words.
And when you have these episodes, when you say something that you think it is one thing but it's another, you'll never forget that. Like, okay, now I know. So this is it, you know. So she told me, because we are also friends, and she told me, because I wanted to tell her that I was sleep deprived. So she said I'm like sleeping abstinence, and I was like, I don't think so. How do you really want to say? Let's see. So and so she told her about it,
and she was just like, oh my god. It means that. I'm like, yes.
It's so important, right? Because Louis, she's a professor at the med school, so she goes to São Paulo to Albert Einstein to have class at her master's. So maybe she was there with like, you know, a professor from abroad. It was like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired because I have like, you know, sleep abstinence. The professor was like, okay, cool. Brazil has interesting topics, you know, things go wild there. This kind of stuff,
And I think it's so important to be able to laugh at yourself, right? Because we all have things where we say the wrong thing.
Oh, I
and
have a very good example about that. You remember the joints and articulation?
Oh, yeah.
Joints.
I love that story.
Go for it.
We were all SLPs hanging out. And then my friend asked me what I feel when I eat gluten, because I am celiac. And then and I said, wow, everything. I feel swallow, headache, my articulations hurts, and everybody laughing a lot at me. And I was like, what did I say wrong? Because these parts of the body are also articulação in Portuguese. So I just literally translated articulation and it's joints. So I never forget, it's joints. So my joints hurt when I eat gluten.
Exactly. And you are a post-PhD
Exactly.
speech pathologist who
never know everything.
Exactly. Who is practicing it in another country, who teaches English, but you were learning something new. So, guys, it always...
I knew the word, it just didn't come out at that time, I knew that joints, a word could be joints, but why not also articulations?
Well, articulation is something else, right, in English?
I know,
right?
But I use it as articulação. Articulação can be speech articulation, or can also be the joints. That's why I literally translated.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. And that's what I think is hard when it has like a double meaning, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that is so hard when like one word can mean a few different things, and then you think it's one thing or another, right? And you get confused.
In Portuguese, right?
So many examples in Portuguese. Ficar is the word that I hate the most. It has 8 different meanings. 8.
Yeah, I don't know if you know all of them already.
I don't know if I know. Yeah. I will think I know, and then I'm like, oh, really? Okay.
Do you know that ficar can also mean date?
Oh, no.
Date someone? No. Yeah.
But then you are not committed to that person.
So I think you guys have this in English, right? Because when you are in a relationship, you say like, I have a boyfriend, or we are together, or we have a relationship, right? But we also have like the dating stage that is like before you become like official or exclusive, right?
Yeah.
So in Portuguese we have this is ficar. Então, nós estamos ficando, a gente tá ficando. Ou ela ficava com ele, eu quero ficar com ela. Ficar is like going out like randomly without having like a commitment yet. But like maybe it could become it, So this is another, the 9th one.
The 9th one. I'll have to note that one.
Yeah.
So.
Really nice. Yeah, great. Well, girls, I think we can start like wrapping up. I had just the greatest time. It was amazing. You see that they didn't have any reason to be nervous. They were so nervous before. Beth was like sweating. I'm sweating. I have to take out my jacket and this kind of stuff. But you guys were just great. Just like as I was sure that I was going to. So I just would like for you to give like a final message, Anika, for anyone who like is thinking about learning another language, who wants like to put themselves out there, and sometimes don't feel ready or like feel shy or is afraid of this kind of vulnerability. What would you tell them? Like, what advice you'd like to give?
Oh my gosh, that's a big loaded question. Tough question. Now you get time to think. I think if someone wanted to learn a new language, I think the first thing I would tell them is like go for it. Like don't wait. Don't say I'll do it next year. Like start now. I would say to like really try to find like consistency that's going to work for you in your life. Sometimes we can study 5 days a week. Sometimes it can only be, 2 or 3, but at least always do something, right? Like as much as you can. And really try to, I think, be so humble going into it and being okay with being vulnerable, because you're going to feel stupid. You're going to feel like you don't know anything. You're going to go through all of those roller coaster of emotions. You're going to have days where you're like, yes, I am so awesome at this. And then the next day is like, I don't know a thing. I'm not progressing. Right. And so keep going, like go through the ups and downs. It's all part of the experience. And just be ready to be like humbled and be vulnerable in that experience, because it will, right? It's going to mess with you, but you just have to remember that anybody learning a language goes through that, right? Like we all do. And I think even like finding people to practice with, or finding people to talk to, or, finding other people to relate to is super important too, because you're not alone, even though you think like I'm the worst at this language, or, but it's not true, right? We all have that same experience, just depending on what stage you're at, and just like, just keep going. Just keep going. Don't take it personally. It's one class at a time, one word you learn at a time, one ficar at a time, right? One ficar at a time. And, and I think like if someone's going to start a new language, I think it's just really important to, remember why you're starting it and keep that motivation with you, right? Like, okay, my goal is to travel, or my goal is to, get education somewhere or get a job somewhere. Okay, you remember that, right? Like you keep that like, you know, tattooed inside yourself. Like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Today is really hard and I'm feeling really bad at this today, but that's still my goal. That's still my target. And that's where I'm going, right? And that's why I'm doing this because, and I think anything in life, right? It's not always going to be easy, but you have to remember the motivation behind it. And so just keep going. Like there's a saying, maybe you guys have the same in Portuguese. When you get tired, don't give up, rest, right? Like if you get tired or you get frustrated, you know, take a little rest, but don't stop, right? Because then it's even more harder to start again or to get to it, right? So, yeah, I think so.
That's amazing. Beautifully said.
Very
Really
good. I
beautifully
think we can
said.
finish it. 'Cause you said everything.
No, your turn.
I'm kidding. Well, for me, it's basically the same. Just go for it to start it. But what you said about the motivation is really important. And sometimes people don't have anything in mind yet. But only starting English open up so many doors for you. And not necessarily you are thinking about the open doors yet. But you will find out somehow, you know, because you are learning another language. Of course, you will use it somehow or at some point in your life. You never know when you will need it. So as soon as you can start is the best, but it's never late, as I said before. And consistent, as Anika said, routine. Try to make studying English as a habit of you, as everything in life. If you don't keep doing, you just give up on doing things or, oh, it's not for me. Like workout. Workout, not for me. There's always an excuse. And it's challenge. Everything that is challenge, it's difficult. But as we said here all the time, try to make English as fun as possible. That's why we talk to you and understand everything that you like. Sometimes you don't even know that it's possible to learn English based on wherever you like, you know? Your interest or something else. Like sometimes also during the classes, your interest changes a little bit. And then I don't want to see this anymore. I want to see this now. And that's nice because now you learn another thing that's not familiar to you anymore in English, right? Which is pretty good. So yeah, just put it into practice. 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, you are at least doing something and you will get somewhere. Even though you don't know where it is.
Amazing. And Vera has a great strategy with the students with the homework, right? Because this is a struggle, guys. There is one of our students probably think that I am the only one who doesn't do the homework. No, we have a lot of them.
But don't follow this example. It's really bad.
Yes, it's very bad. You have to do it. But the thing is, Vera is very great at this because she always says you don't have to stop one day and do everything.
Yeah.
Do 5 minutes a day, you know. When you were between meetings in your job or you were waiting for something you have an appointment at the doctor, you are there waiting, you just take it, or going to the bank or doing anything.
Yeah, that's why I send the link to their WhatsApps.
Exactly.
And then I say send me a phrase a day, a word a day. Try to do something a day. Send to me on WhatsApp. On our classes, I will copy and paste on your homework. Don't worry.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's it's put yourself out there and commit to it, and then you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And
there's a myth behind it. I can't learn English. I'm an adult already, or I don't have time for that. But you do have time.
Yeah,
you do have time because if you check your Instagram, it's more than an hour a day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you are there seeing these stories right now, stop and do your homework right now.
Exactly.
Then you can come back.
Here's your reminder.
Exactly.
Yeah, stop scrolling on Instagram. Take 3 minutes to do one phrase of
exactly.
English.
And send it to your teacher, Vera. She's waiting for your sentence. Amazing, very good. Well, girls, thank you so much for being here. Would you like to say something in Portuguese, Anika, for our audience? Só oi, por exemplo, se você quiser.
Eu vou pensar.
Muito bom.
Eu vou pensar.
Recado para os seus alunos que gostam muito de você.
I don't know. Now I'm on the spot. I don't know what I want to say.
No problem. But thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
and thanks for coming to visit us.
Thank you so much for coming and visit. It was amazing. A weekend.
Yeah.
So much fun we had.
No, I am the one who have to say thank you, guys. Come on. Anika just has been the wonderful host, everything.
Sometimes and planning the trip. Woo,
planning the trip for us. We had an incredible time. Yesterday we saw bears.
We
mooses,
saw 3 bears.
Deers. My good, 1 deer, 2 mooses, 3 bears. That's something sometimes I was like, okay, what are we gonna see that it's gonna be for? Because I'm just seeing everything.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
You know what doesn't make sense is that it's 1 moose, 2 moose.
Oh, really? You see, English also is.
But
Also
1
tricky.
goose, 2 geese.
Why?
Yeah, you see, English is also tricky.
I will look into that
You're
for you.
looking
I
into
don't
that,
know.
yes.
It's also tricky.
It's
English,
Canada
normally.
geese.
Yeah, 1 goose, 2
1
geese,
goose, 2 geese.
1 moose, 2 moose.
2 moose doesn't
There's
mean
no S.
There's no
10
mooses.
moose. That's it.
Kids will say mooses, and it's very cute, but
Okay, but it's
1
it's
moose, 2
wrong.
moose.
Yeah, 1 moose, 2 moose,
Yeah.
1 goose, 2 geese,
Yeah,
and 1 deer, 2 deers.
2 deer.
2 deer.
2
There's no
deer
S.
also without S. 1 bear, 2 bears.
Yep,
Okay,
that one's regular.
nice, very good. You see, guys, I'm always learning. Everyone is always learning.
Very good.
But I'm so grateful, guys, for having this opportunity, not only to come to Calgary, because Calgary is an incredible place. Like, you guys are so lucky to be here, like, just surrounded by these rocky mountains. I was telling Annika that every time that you guys feel like, stressed or sad, you just take a car and you just go, like, into any of these lakes, any of these, and for 30 minutes, you are recharged for the year thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's so great to be connected with this. But also, I'm very, very more grateful than that to have you two in my life. Like, not only as
Same.
teachers,
Right
but
back
also
at you.
friends. Yeah.
Same.
Thank you so much for being so incredible to me and to the students, and also to really care about all of them and be such great people to our school and to my life. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing. That's it, guys. With that beautiful conversation, just finish our episode number 9 of our Big Players Talk. And I see you in the next one. Thank you.